No.
Silly Twitter. Silly Twitter. But we've got our YouTubers, and we've got our Instagrams, and we've got our Facebooks.
Well, that seems to be one might call it a quorum.
Yes, it's okay. We're gonna get Twitter working. Give me but a moment. In the meanwhile,
Well, hello, quorum.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. It's Sunday afternoon.
It is, amazingly enough.
And it's getting to be a little more emotional in these here parts because Jessie is closer and closer to
baby time,
to presenting Alice and me with a grandchild.
That sounds very official.
Yes, it does.
The presentation is upon us.
Yes.
There we go. I think Twitter. There we go, Twitter. Thank you. But yes, it is getting there. And as many pregnant women will tell you, when it's time, it's time.
Yeah.
And I am very, very ready to be done now. But that's okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Madame. What time do we start these things?
Please, honey. I'm just so happy I could make it. The bus was late.
The bus was late.
I couldn't help it.
Well, we got Logan doing our woos.
Logan's upset.
Logan is out wooing. My mother has decided to join us today, but late, of course.
Of course. That's my style.
Oh, yes.
Listen, if Elizabeth Taylor could be 2 hours late,
2 hours
I
late.
can be whatever I am.
You can.
Okay. Now can I get in the picture?
Well, see, that's the problem.
Yeah,
I
know. I told Daddy that I was coming.
And I told Jessie.
Okay, it's not like it's a surprise.
Well, it's a bit of a surprise when
You want
you're
me to
not.
Want me to get in the middle?
Listen, you two. Okay, yes.
Okay. Oh,
No. Just stay.
No, I can
Just stay put.
I'll stay put.
Because otherwise he's gonna
fall.
Oh, Logan.
I ask Alice to join us every week. Doesn't join us, then shows up late.
Boy, I'll tell you, when they come down on me.
Just say they can't even see you.
The bus was late. It's not my fault.
This is the thing. They cannot actually see you.
Well, they will be able to see me because I'm pushy.
Whoa,
Who did that?
It's the only way.
Oh, dear. Did you break something?
No.
No?
No.
Good.
But it's the only way I'm going to be able to get you in.
Okay. Well, that's good. I like that better than, cramping.
I'm glad you like it.
Can you move over just a touch?
Hang on.
Yes.
Hang on.
Yes, I can.
Okay. Hang on. All right. Okay. Try to do this. See, now we're all ghosty because of all the light. It's
Yeah.
Now
okay.
we're all
I like
ghosty.
it further away. I think it's.
I know you do, Mama, but then we can't read what the nice people are writing to us.
That's not my problem, honey. You know what I mean?
All right.
Doing the best.
All right. You too. Hang on. Hang on.
Whoa.
Hang on. There you go. Okay?
Love it.
I'll be right back. You
Uh-oh.
two.
All
start
right.
chatting.
Well, hello. Are we on?
Yes, we are.
Well,
Yes, Alice,
hello.
we're very on.
Okay.
We're
all
very
right.
on.
Some people
We're a
are
little
very,
washed out on
very-
this screen
yeah,
here, but we're
very
on
sensitive.
Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and Instagram.
Okay.
Every conceivable means of communicating.
Oh, surely there must be
Within
something
our-
we forgot.
Yeah, I'm sure there
Yeah,
is.
because
Within our
I
limited
don't
range
know
of
the various
expertise.
jingles that they do here.
And what now? You were having trouble again getting access to the
Oh
channel
yes.
that you
Okay.
wanted.
So I wanted to see the morning show
On
and
Apple
on
Plus.
Apple Plus, and we have all these stations because
Not all.
we have most of them, honey. Pardon me. We have most of them, sweetie. We really do. And what happens is you just keep adding more because you go, oh, that program is on. Well, I'll just add that. And that's why our bill is $4,000 from DirecTV.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's going into the stratosphere.
and then it just did not. Somehow I must have done something. And but somehow, who has a gun? A gun, please. Anyway, no, we're just kidding. We haven't shot a dog yet. Not yet, anyway. I must have touched something, and then I couldn't get into the, what's my password? What's this? I know my password for Apple TV, but it wasn't any good, which is why you have young children around or a daughter or a son. What broke it? Oh, okay, we can get or a son-in-law who is at the moment on location in New York.
Okay.
For a
Here's
job.
what I need you guys to do so we
Right.
can get the light to work. Because I was
Okay.
looking and you're all washed up.
Right.
Come this way.
Mhm.
Come this direction. Okay. See?
Mhm.
See, now it's better.
Yep.
Now you can stay. Just straighten yourself out.
Right.
Right.
All right, this is what I have to do. Oh, I can't. I got it.
Shh, Logie, it's okay.
Okay.
I know you're being very helpful. I know. Logan, come here. Come here, you. Come here.
You can have a meltdown
Okay.
in this house so easily.
Okay. Oh, hi. Okay.
In fact, I may have a meltdown.
Okay.
See,
Okay.
it's hard to be angry at
Okay.
these dogs because they're so
Okay.
adorable.
Oh, we love them. We love them. And they're
Okay.
funny as hell.
But
And they're
Okay.
needy as hell, of course, because, these guys are not strays. These are
rescue.
rescues. And,
Now, you need to. You need
well,
to
honey, I
switch.
can't get over there. You got that thing. I don't want to hurt your arm. Okay.
You're not going
So,
to hurt my arm.
okay, good. So Leonard, he kind of fell again, and he's
Kinda
back
fell
in
again.
he's back in the sling.
I'm back in my sling.
Fortunately, everything's okay. Nothing
Yes.
got broken. No need for any additional surgery.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
Just,
so I
just our
can't get.
sanity going out the
So
window. is all.
all I want to do is I'm on my bike, my recumbent bike. I want to watch the morning show. I can't get it in. And meanwhile, I'm losing time. Because
Valuable time.
Well,
you know what excites me is that normally we just have to hear the boring story, but now you get to hear it too.
yes. Well, you haven't heard my yelling, Leonard. And of course, if Scott were here, you would hear Scott.
It's my husband's name.
But he's in New York. So.
He's away at work. So unfortunately,
Earning a living.
Earning a living.
And I have to tell you, right now in this house, we are she's so ready. We're so ready. We want this little baby healthy and out, and frankly, in my arms. Okay.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
exactly.
Now, Thursday night in my class at USC, I had the pleasure of showing the new James Bond film. And my guests were the two very capable fellows who edited it,
Yes.
Elliot Graham and Tom Cross. Tom, I know somewhat because he edited Whiplash.
Yep.
And
has been to your class before.
Yes, he has. Actually, Elliot reminded me that he came to my class with Bill Paxton
Oh my
I know,
gosh.
which is crazy.
when we showed the greatest game ever played. Still an unappreciated
Yes.
movie.
Yes.
And with Shia LaBeouf.
Yep.
And anyway, Tom's great. Tom is one of those people, and they're rarer than you might think, who not only is superior at what he does,
Hmm.
but can also talk about it
Yeah.
eloquently. And editing is so little understood.
Mm-hmm.
And but they both agreed that, having worked with a number of top directors and having also worked in the field of commercials and such, that the editor-director relationship is a very intimate one.
Yeah.
I mean, you're sitting in a room together, as close as we are, maybe
Yeah.
Poor souls.
for months.
Yeah.
And so, if you don't get along, well,
You're in trouble.
that's a bad choice. And
Yeah.
also, if you don't have diplomatic skills,
No.
Yeah.
because it's
also
not just
that.
it's not just the two of you in that room. It's the producers, the executive producers, the other executive producers. There's
Let me
always-
just hang on once. But I know we are, Frank. The problem is, as I said, because I couldn't set up before, if it's not that way, then Alice gets cut off or
It's
I get
fine.
cut
I don't mind getting
So-
cut off. No, really, I'm used to it.
oh God.
I'll just sit here in the
Oh,
dark.
Alice.
That's all. Nobody cares.
Oh,
I'll just be alone
Alice.
in the dark and
Anyway.
Continue.
Anyway, I liked the film. I enjoyed the film. My feeling is there's just too much of it.
2 hours and 40.
2 hours and 45 minutes. And there's no need.
Uh-uh.
There's no
No.
purpose served. There's no need.
No.
and it's extremely well made, of course,
Yeah.
as you would expect. Kerry Joji Fukunaga is the director
Say that 5 times
and
fast.
co-writer. And all right, complaint time now.
Yeah, go for it.
They've reshot the MGM Lion logo.
Oh yeah.
This is the second time I've seen it already. And as a late friend of ours put it when confronted with something like this, just because you can
Doesn't mean
you should.
Yeah.
It now
No.
starts on a tight close-up of one of the stars sort of surrounding,
I know. I know.
and then pulls out.
It's okay. I saw the new WB logo the other day
Mhm.
in action.
Mhm.
And it's one where, now, I don't know if you've noticed the new Warner Brothers logo. They've taken all
That's Warner
personality.
Media.
Is it Warner? Is that what they're saying? Warner Media? I thought they're going to switch it back.
They don't say-
I don't know. But it is the strangest, like they took whatever personality was left, sucked it out, and said, here's your new logo. And it's just like,
Honey, it's much better. Sweetie,
I
you
know.
don't realize
I
it's
know.
much better.
I know.
Anyway, the other thing they've done that is unprecedented. They translate the Latin.
Yeah.
You see it first. So if Latin wasn't a dead language already,
It's dead now. Yeah, I know.
MGM just killed it all.
It's the Warner Brothers logo is now, it's this like white and blue, and they made it more sleek.
Yeah, skinny.
It's just, I just don't get it. You're friends with Jeff. Oh, it's a question. I think you mean, are you friends? Are we friends with Jeff Goldblum? We are not. I wish we were.
I cut him off once in traffic.
He
if that
nearly hit
counts.
me once.
That's
See,
right.
These are the stories. These are the most LA stories you will find. Are the moments where it's
He
like,
was
so
coming out of a
nearly
gas
hit me.
station,
Yeah,
yes.
my mom was crossing. We were at the Sony lot.
I was on the
She
Sony
was
lot.
walking across the Sony lot and was nearly hit by a car. And it was Russell Brand. He rolled down his window and said,
Sorry, madam.
"Sorry, madam." These are my favorite LA stories because we've all
Big
got
time.
them. We've
Big
all got
time.
them.
Yes, yes.
Where it's, it's like, oh my God, I was getting gas and so nearly
Right,
killed
exactly.
me. Those
Yeah.
are those funny moments that are just sort of
But I
ridiculous.
can always hear that. Sorry, madam.
Sorry,
But
madam.
he was very
Yes.
polite. He really was.
He didn't mean
He
to
didn't
really
mean
kill
to
you.
kill me. Well,
Listen,
there
you
you
two.
go. Anyway.
They're determined to be.
They are
a part
well.
of this.
Okay, so my husband when my husband gets back, he will have been gone for 12 days, and that's the longest.
Excuse me. No. Pardon me.
No, don't chew on the book. We don't chew on books.
Which book are they chewing on?
It
Hey,
doesn't
Mabel.
matter. It's a book.
Hey, no, don't do that.
Mabel.
sweetheart. Mabel. No, oh, she's already done it.
The whole
No.
world
All right.
is now.
In fairness, though, and I will say this,
Okay.
my dad knows that he can't leave stuff out for the dogs. And then he still
Okay.
leaves it there.
Yeah.
You've seen her almost chew on that 7 times. And have you moved that book?
No.
So at this point, whose fault is it?
Mine.
That's right.
I own it.
That's right. Bad, Leonard.
I own it.
Bad. You need to move it because
Look
she's
how
going to keep.
fast she is.
Look.
Look at this. I just
She's
want you
very
to see
quick.
how
No,
fast.
don't show. Don't show.
Don't show
Don't
it.
show.
Well,
It's,
maybe
it's
the animal
blasphemous.
lovers
It's
can't.
blasphemous.
This is why you can't leave things out.
Yeah,
That's
honey,
right.
yeah,
Mabel
yeah.
will get them and eat them. She's a baby. Yes.
We always tease my husband. First book at 17,
Yeah.
and still
He just
leaves
can't
it
do
out.
basic things like remember a belt, or wear the same color shoes.
Oh dear. Things
That's-
are going well.
Yeah,
They're
it's
they're
all going
well.
really, really well,
Yeah.
guys. Everything's fine.
Anyway.
Anyway, my husband's been gone he will be gone for 12 days. He comes back on Tuesday. And both of the dogs, in response to this, are having none of it. And they have been naughtier than they have ever been. And it is just absolutely ridiculous. So I'm going to move up so I can actually see what you guys are writing.
Ask
One
me about
second.
the quiet man.
Yes, quiet man. But let me go back over here as well. Sorry, my friends. 1 second. Oh, greetings from Kissimmee. Hello, Kissimmee.
Hello,
Greetings
Kissimmee.
from Ireland. Hello,
Oh,
Ireland.
hello.
Speaking
You
of
are
quiet man,
one of
yeah.
my very favorite places in the whole
all
wide
of us.
world.
Yeah.
In
In case you didn't know.
Great
this
to
is-
see Alice. It is always great to see. If you see in our house, you just always hear her, even if you don't see her.
I'm insulted.
There
Should
she
I be
is.
insulted?
Hang on. There she is, as beautiful as always.
Ah, who said that? I want to. Can I send?
That's Alan Blank.
I want to send you
Her
money.
new boyfriend, Alan Blank.
I want to send you money. Thank you.
I picture Leonard Maltin. This is from Ben Herndon. Ben
Oh,
says,
Ben.
I picture Leonard as the Harry Davenport in Meet Me in St. Louis type of granddad. I'll go with that, man. I'll go with it.
Hey, you know the stuff we gave you, Ben, when your son was born? We need it back.
Yeah, we need. I know it was like what? How old is your son now, Ben? 20, 30, 106?
His son Cassidy.
Yes.
Cassidy, yeah. Which at the time we said, well, that's an odd name, but
Right.
really it isn't. Now
it
it's in
wasn't
the
odd.
vernacular.
It was named after Hopalong Cassidy.
Yeah,
There you
which
go.
is
At least
why.
you didn't call the kid Hopalong.
How did Roger Moore get the part of James Bond?
Well, he was very. You know that.
Well,
shit?
I mean, he played it until he was a little long in the tooth, but when he started out,
Yes.
he was still very dashing,
Very dashing, very
And handsome.
popular.
and he had made his first dent in our consciousness over here on the TV series The Saint,
Yeah.
syndicated half-hour TV series, and then he came to Hollywood,
Yeah.
and he did work here.
He didn't do big parts.
No,
You know, he was
No.
sort of the
But he
featured,
was-
but
he had the look, he had the savoir faire,
Another pillow behind you.
yeah, something to help him. Yeah.
and he was very good. But those films got more cartoonish
Mm-hmm.
as they went along.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of fans.
They're tired. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's true. Frank is saying that Moore was originally going to be the first Bond, but it fell through, so it went to Connery. You know, there's so many
stories of people who
there are certain and certain long running films, TV shows, etc. There are a lot of stories saying, "Oh, it was supposed to be this or this was supposed to happen," and 97% of the stories are not true.
you just don't know.
But they've been going on long enough that it's almost
Right.
like print the legend at
Right.
this point. And there's that book on Wizard of Oz that's
Yeah.
like 100 things that are not correct that you've heard about Wizard of Oz. All these things that people think are true. So I don't know, Frank. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's actually true or
Well,
not.
for James Bond, my go-to source is Steve Rubin.
Yep.
And his book, The James Bond Encyclopedia, and that's where I would go to check anything of that sort.
Yeah.
Then
See, and Alan is saying, did you know that before Sean Connery said yes to Diamonds Are Forever, that John Gavin was signed to take over the role of James Bond? See, again, maybe, but also maybe not.
yeah, they were
This
trying.
is
to,
what
they,
I
mean.
They were trying to woo Sean Connery.
There are
Connery
so
back into
many
the fold.
stories
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah.
And you will hear 87 different ones. So
and ploys they would use to try and get
Yep.
the other,
Yeah.
we're hiring so and so for
Yep.
this because
So you always have to remember to take everything with a grain of salt, because unless it is coming from the actual source,
who were there, and
like
who
the
know.
source, a lot of it's just not true. But again, because people talk about it all so much,
Yeah.
after a while it just
It
becomes
becomes
real.
legend. Absolutely,
You know, it
Mhm.
becomes real.
Another great book, by the way, that I would heartily recommend is The Music of James Bond by John Burlingame. It's I want to say surprisingly interesting. It is surprising. There's
He's
so
a
much to tell.
musicologist.
Yep.
He knows
There's so much to talk about. And in the wake of that book's publication, they did an evening at the Academy of Motion
Yeah.
Picture Arts and Sciences. And here's how the evening began. This is in the Samuel Goldwyn Theater, 1,000-seat theater. And they dimmed the lights, not all the way, they dimmed the lights, house lights. And they show one of the first scenes in Dr. No, the first Bond movie. And as Sean Connery walks by the Baccarat table, you hear bum ba bum 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 ba bum bum, and it's like everybody goes ooh ooh ooh, and then they bring up a spotlight on a guitarist playing it live in the corner of the stage, and it's the same guy
the
who played it
original,
on the soundtrack,
the real
Vic,
thing.
with the unforgettable name of Vic Flick,
Yep.
and using the same guitar.
Yep.
Oh man,
It's a kid. The best thing
that's
I
why
can
I love
sort of
living here. I really do.
the
Honestly.
best thing I can equate it to is with a name like that
Yeah.
and who looks the way he does.
Mhm.
It's how I felt the first time I saw Plaz Johnson.
Oh yeah.
And I went, that is the Pink Panther. Look up Plaz Johnson.
PLAS.
Yes, PLAS, and he is the one who plays the theme.
He's a saxophonist.
He's the saxophonist.
Saxophonist, yes.
That's a Simpsons joke. But when you look at him, I swear he looks like the Pink Panther. And as a little kid, seeing him was like, what? Yeah. So when Moore was thinking about leaving the series, they auditioned James Brolin, and they even have a screen test on the Blu-ray. Yeah, no. As I say, they auditioned tons of people. It's just that it's as I say, because it's gone on for so long, there are almost like little rascals. Everyone can say, actually, I was considered for the role of Bond.
Yes.
Yeah, you and 78 other people.
I was in the Bronx at the time, and they just couldn't contact me.
I was in the Bronx, so they didn't call. They also changed the TCM logo. What are your feelings about that?
Yes, they did an entire overhaul of all the graphics for TCM. It's
hip.
It's what people do. It's what companies do.
It's hip.
They want.
God bless
them.
We can say nothing. They should live and do well.
That's what they did. Yeah. I'm an old fogey, stuck in my ways. I would just as soon leave it as it was. But they're nice, clean graphics.
But you're not an executive, if I may say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're nice, clean graphics.
They're not. That's the bit. They're nice, clean graphics.
Nice. They're nice. Yeah.
Not what we call in the trade a money quote.
No.
But,
have you read Haley Mills' new book? Yes.
Yes, and liked it, and learned from it.
Mm-hmm.
Learned a lot of interesting things, largely about her relationship to her parents and her older sister Juliet, whom she idolized and continues to idolize to this day, and. The most interesting, the juiciest stuff comes from the Walt Disney Archives, which they opened to Haley to see for the first time the correspondence that took place between her parents and their lawyer, and Walt Disney and Walt Disney's business people. And she learned a lot of things. It was like a revelatory experience for her. And consequently for us.
Yeah. I have to say, I don't think there's anyone of the children who worked for Disney who ever said a bad word about him.
No.
When you think of all that goes on today,
no.
With everybody, he did this. Walt Disney, he was Uncle Walt to all of them.
He took very good care of especially the young people.
Yeah.
He looked at it as, if your parents are trusting me, then I'm going to make sure that they are okay.
Yeah.
And especially, for someone like Haley Mills coming over from England, there was, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Our friend Ryan is saying he really enjoyed the new episode. Yes, we got to interview Haley again for the book on our podcast, and you can get that for free. You can look it up.
She's just exactly what you hope.
Better.
A child actress who grows up.
She's better.
Is she? Yeah.
Do you know why she's better?
Why?
Because she is honest in a way I don't think most people know how to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And she's able to look at I won't even say negatives, but she's able to look at the choices her parents made that she maybe disagreed with.
She definitely disagreed with certain
things. Her family, but she can talk about it without anger.
Right. Yeah.
She's processed it in a beautiful way.
Not just anger, no bitterness.
No bitterness.
No.
No. And there's some difficult passages.
Yeah. Well, again, if you're a parent, that you make the choices that you feel are the best, right? But and in their position, they were looking at it as, we want her to have a normal life. We don't want her to go off and be crazy Haley Mills in Hollywood alone without the family, things like that. That to me is part of what makes her so special.
Well, I also think in terms of her parents was the fact that John Mills was very popular, maybe international star. Her mother was a writer,
Mhm.
wrote books.
Yeah, listen to the episode because she's such a special
So they
woman.
had their own identity.
Yeah.
They weren't living through this
No, no,
child.
no, no, no,
Yeah,
no,
she-
no.
They didn't need her
many,
money.
yes, sir.
didn't
Unlike
need her
many a
money.
child actor,
Yeah,
she didn't become the breadwinner
yeah.
for their family.
I just read a fascinating interview with Kieran Culkin,
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
and I'll show it to you. It's
Well, there's
so
one.
Good.
There's one in Hollywood Reporter I was reading. There's a whole breakdown.
That's probably yeah.
Okay.
It's so good and so interesting.
it
That
last
whole
night,
Culkin
yeah.
family, holy hell. Hi, CJ. Hi, Bear Bell, our beloved Bear Bell.
Oh, Bear Bell.
Yes.
Indeed.
Bear Bell, I'll
yes.
send you details
Yes.
about what's going on around here. Man, oh man. I'm interested in your personal film collection. Did archive your favorites on DVD or
Did you archive your favorites, huh? On DVD?
maybe
Yeah.
on DVD or digitally? Any original film prints in your collection that you screen in your home?
That's a bunch of questions,
Yeah.
but I'll try to answer briefly. I started collecting 8mm films when I was very young because they were the most affordable. And then I moved up to 16mm, which is the bigger the frame size, the better the image.
Mm-hmm.
Moved up to 16mm. But I decided I didn't want to collect feature films. I had friends who did that. And I said, well, let them do that. And I'll borrow their prints when I want to see the movies.
Mm-hmm.
This way, I specialized. I specialized in cartoons, live action shorts, and the occasional kinescope or TV print. And that's all I collected. And I've accumulated.
Mm-hmm.
And I still show some of those same prints at USC.
To his students.
And it gives me almost a perverse pleasure to get that 16mm projector in the booth fired up.
Yep.
I think I'm the only one who
Yeah,
uses
I would
it.
think you
honey,
probably are, yeah.
Probably. We got to get rid of Maltin.
We,
because
as for,
that's
for
the-
screening at home, we used to do it more, and then we moved, and so now the projector's not set up. The projector's actually by my room, where all my dad's film lives, his film, and you'll see I post videos sometimes of my dad going through his cartoons, just sort of checking on the health of all things.
That
We
vinegar
have-
syndrome.
We have one or two videos on vinegar syndrome.
Yeah, which
is so
and
sad.
and I've told you guys this, that one of my one of the worst superhero skills I have is an intense sense of smell, which unfortunately, because I had COVID and my long haul symptom is that my smell really went. So I'm not as good as I used to be, but I can smell vinegar a mile away. And so that's the job my dad would give me, the task
Very
to
sad.
smell the films and see
Very
if they
sad
were
when
going.
that happens, really.
But yeah, no, we love our film.
Yeah.
I should tell you, I was going to show you, but we didn't have time. Our friend Christy sent me a video this morning to show me that she had seen our rewinds, and we talked about our
Yeah.
rewinds on the table and how much I love them growing up. That it was really fun for me. And then when I got rewinds are what you use to rewind actual film. You put one on, and you go like this, and you manually rewind the film. And as a kid, the big deal was when I was finally big enough to reach both. When I was finally big enough to reach both of them at the same time. But she saw them and she thought it was so cool. So she went and found some, and then found out that one of her local libraries didn't care about their film collection.
Mhm.
They had just a couple of them. And she said, can I have them? And they said, yes. So she has a handful of films. I'll show you the video she sent me. It's so cool.
That's neat.
You never know what you're going to find in different places. Let's see. MGM, WB, and TCM logos have all been changed. I suppose that the folks at Logos R Us are happy. Yeah, right? I don't know. Again, we're not big on change. It's nice. It's nice that doesn't happen. Oh God! Next week the Maltins on TCM. They wouldn't know what to do with us. They know us in real life, and they don't know what
And
to
that's
do
enough
with
to
us.
stay away from us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was hired by Paramount Home Entertainment to do a little on-camera critique of 5 or 6 classic films from their library this past year. And one of them was The Court Jester, the wonderful film with Danny Kaye. And one of the things I enjoy about it, I went to check the disc, is that it's in VistaVision. You see the
That'll
Paramount
take a
I feel
lot
like
to
that's
make
how
him
you hurt the
happy.
shoulder. I feel like maybe saying VistaVision is how you
Vista,
knocked
that's
it
it.
back out again.
Exactly, honey.
When I was a kid, I just fell in love with this.
Yeah.
This.
Just was, I'm trying.
This
I'm sorry.
trademark.
I'm trying to make sure he's
sinks.
staying level.
Yeah,
Sinks.
upright. A giant V comes out of the Paramount Mountain landscape,
Mm-hmm.
and then it fills in motion picture high fidelity. And they even wrote a fanfare just for VistaVision. And
We're big on fanfares in this house. Big fans of
It's
fanfare.
the little things that make
Yeah.
him happy.
well,
Okay.
when I go down to teach class, as often as not, the marching band, the USC
Yeah.
marching band, is rehearsing. And if I'm lucky, as I'm walking to
Yeah.
the auditorium where I teach, they're playing Alfred Newman's Conquest
Yes.
from the Tyrone Power film Captain from Castile, which they thought was such a perfect accompaniment to a touchdown in a game that they went to Alfred Newman and his boss, Darrell F. Zanuck, who either signed over the copyright or gave them the right in perpetuity to use that.
And is there ever a bad time?
No.
No.
I read online that Alice Maltin once worked as a secretary for a studio head.
No,
That is not
true.
accurate. But
I
I
worked
wanna
for
know
an
where you read it.
assemblyman. I worked for an assemblyman.
She's worked for a
in the
lot of
Bronx,
different people, but never
yeah,
that intrigues me though.
it is intriguing. I wish I had.
Yeah, I want to know where you got that from. Evan says, I remember being fortunate enough to see some of those 16mm cartoons at your old apartment in Manhattan during the 70s.
Wow.
Well, there you go.
Yes, we did screen them there.
There's you and all of your friends would, I swear, just like a projector hop and get.
I call them his little friends.
Yeah, well, it's like it's toys, and everybody wants to share. You know. Hello from New Zealand. Hello, Matthew.
Hello.
Was fun to have Leonard come down and visit the Civic Cinema here.
Oh wow.
And he says, "Well, I guess he was here for more than that." Nah, we were truly. We talked about this the other day because I was saying how much we love atmospheric theaters, and that one in Auckland is a
wonderful.
killer.
Spectacular.
Yeah.
And
And
so much fun.
You guys actually.
We got to go up to the rafters
We went way up high.
above the Starscape.
Yeah.
And saw how all that works.
Yeah.
And
top to bottom.
You brought it back
Beautiful.
to the way it
Beautiful
was. Beautiful.
So cool.
Beautiful.
And so much fun. So much fun to experience those things and think about how the history of them, and also, frankly, to think about the audiences.
Yeah.
Sure.
The history of that as well. One of the gifts that does still exist are finding these little gems, these movie theaters. I say little, that one's not a little one. Civic is not little, but discovering them. And as I say, thinking about what premiered there and when it premiered. Just really special.
The mayor was there on that Sunday morning of that weekend.
They were doing it. There was a parade. Do you remember that?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
there was
a huge
It was a
parade
whole-
outside.
And some sort of a ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
And when I told the mayor of Auckland that it was one of the most beautiful theaters
Mm-hmm.
I've ever seen, he said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I said, I'm the kind of guy who, when I visit a city that has a vintage movie
We
theater
break
or movie
For
pass,
vintage movie
Yeah.
theaters. We should
so
have
I've
that
seen
in
more than my fair
license
share.
plate.
Yeah.
And I said, this
Yeah.
is comparable to any movie palace
Gorgeous.
in the world.
Gorgeous.
And he took that as a great compliment, which is what I meant.
They were just
Yeah, it
lovely
was supposed to
people,
be.
yeah.
Okay, so I wrote down some from the interwebs, and I think my favorite is, how do you stay sane online? And
I don't think you do.
the
myself.
answer to that question, honestly, is not answering everything. A fatal flaw for me is that I generally, oh my God, that's so funny. Matthew Moss says, my brother, it's the fellow from New Zealand, says, my brother is Ant Timpson, who created the Maltin game that Tim Lee released. Of course, no, we know Ant. Of course we do. That is so funny No, of course we know Ant, and he's wonderful. And we've gotten to
Small
hang out
world.
in Austin.
And we played the game with. I played
Yeah.
the game with Ant.
You played the
Yes.
game with Ant. That's so cool. I love that. That's so cool.
You might as well give it a full plug.
Oh, sure.
Which
The
we had a
board
copy
game.
of. Yeah.
The board game called
The Leonard Maltin game.
no
No.
Leonard Maltin, King of Movies.
Right, sorry.
Movies,
Leonard
yes.
Maltin, King of Movies.
Not a title I bestow upon myself.
Uncanny. Yes.
Goodness knows.
It was released by Mondo, the folks who do the really cool posters.
Mhm.
And we showed it when it came out. I guess it's got.
It just got caught in the pandemic.
Yeah,
is what
but it's a
happened,
blast,
you know.
and a lot of our friends love playing it. It's a real
Yeah.
board game. It's not expensive either.
No, but it's really and be a great Christmas gift.
And what a thoughtful.
And
What
for
a
the thoughtful
thoughtful gift,
Hanukkah
as
and
we like to
Christmas
say.
gift.
Yes.
That is so funny.
Oh, dear. Yeah.
Anyways, so how do you stay sane? The honest answer is you just can't respond to all the crazy.
Mhm.
And so when someone, my knee jerk, as I say, my fatal flaw, my knee jerk reaction is I want to answer, and especially if someone says something that's not nice or foul. If someone, I don't care. It's one of those things. I don't care what you say to me, but if you say something to him, then it is my right to murder you. Right? That's like I feel like that's law, isn't it?
I think
If someone
so.
tries to mess
Isn't
with
that
your
the
family,
11th commandment?
But that's it. If
Yeah.
someone messes with your family,
That's
you
right.
are legally allowed
Right,
to kill
exactly.
them.
Yes.
And Jesse serves as my official taster.
Yeah, I
Like-
read
like-
everything so he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
But it's hard sometimes because people will write stuff and you go, "That why even? How come?" And what I've had to learn is just to not answer. This is true too. Sometimes we get direct messages on any of the various platforms and they'll ask a lot of questions. And sometimes I'll answer and then I realize, oh no, now you think I'm going to answer you all the time. And the problem is I do have a life,
You're not my friend.
And
I'm happy to answer,
that's
but you're
it.
not my friend.
you know. I
Yeah.
think that's the hard part is sort of explaining that no one owes you anything. And I've said this to friends, who are actors and actresses and,
Mhm.
and are on the various socials a lot. And they'll say, people think that they're my friend. I
Right.
go, well, yeah, because you have this nice relationship. But there's real life friends and then there's nice correspondences that you have with people. And it's important to know the difference and to respect that nobody owes you anything, we all get excited when someone answers, like, if somebody I'm a fan of responds to me, I'm thrilled. But if it happens once, I'm like, that's
But we
that's
understand
great.
that that's,
it's, I don't think it's
we're
gonna
not
happen
going to
all the
have
time.
dinner, okay, together
Yeah,
is what
exactly.
it comes down to. Yeah.
How does editing work for your podcast? Which is an interesting question. So in general, we record straight through.
We don't edit.
Mm-mm.
The
We don't lean too much.
Okay.
Here.
the our goal is to air it exactly as we record it.
Mm-hmm.
And many weeks, that's what happens. Every now and then, there's a dog barking or a microphone glitch.
That's the working from home part that has
Yeah.
been tricky in this last year.
Yeah.
In real life, we record our podcast either in a studio or we meet wherever our guest wants us to. So
Mhm.
that might be their house, that could be an office.
It seems so long since we've done that.
I know.
We've been using
I know.
Zoom for
I
over a year.
I hate Zoom so much.
We all do.
But
But some people like it. I'm sorry.
no. It's what it is. And it takes away the fun.
Yeah.
You want to sit with somebody and have a real conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, in general, we don't edit much. I'll tell you that one of the big things, sort of like when someone asks us here, if they'll ask us a political type question or anything like that, I tend to ignore them only because I feel like that's not why we're here. I'll tell you how I feel about things, but I just don't necessarily think that that's important. And so when we're doing
in this context.
when we're doing our podcast, if somebody goes off on something that we think, oh man, this is going to be, then sometimes we edit because we also don't want them to have to deal with any BS. Somebody could say something that they don't even mean. I mean, it's little things. We had a guest who said, cry like a girl, and then heard themselves and went, I mean, boy, I mean, anyone. I mean, you could cry like anyone, because everybody's so afraid of offending you now
Mhm.
because of all the stuff. And I said to him, take a minute, figure out how you want to say it. Don't worry, it's okay. So a lot of that.
Mhm.
I think that's mostly
Yeah.
very
Saving them from themselves.
yeah, just as I say, just because you don't want to put someone in a position where they've said something, especially
Right.
if they didn't even mean it in that way.
Right. And for listeners, we're not out to provoke.
No,
It's just not
no.
who we are.
We know pro-woke.
Yes.
We know pro-woke in this family.
Akim
My daughter just
Akim
quoted
Tamirov.
Akim Tamirov.
Yes,
whom the
yes,
bell tolls.
yes.
And this is why I had no friends. I've been intrigued by the pole that sometimes you can see behind you is at a signpost. So I've told this story and it just makes me laugh. My dad says to me, we found a miniature, they're doing a miniature version of the sign that's at the Walt Disney lot in Burbank.
The street sign.
The street
at the Walt
sign.
Disney
And
World,
I was
yeah.
like, that is so cool.
Corner of Mickey Avenue and Dopey Drive.
And he pulls out this, and so it comes, and he's got this one, it's like this big. It's like, that's so cool. I love
A
that.
desktop size.
What he didn't mention is
Yes.
that there was a second one
I
coming.
insisted upon buying the
That
second one.
It is, in theory, miniature, in that it is smaller than what is there, but it's
But not by much.
this behind us. I'll show you, I'll move the Instagram camera there and you can see it better. That right behind me. Harder to do with this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, behind me there's a giant sign that.
And
they
we
sold-
love it.
They
by the
sold
way.
these
Yeah.
as collector's items
Yeah.
Yep.
for a very brief time.
Yeah.
Seth says, I have mixed feelings about the new Bond film and was wondering what you thought of it. I need to see it again to really process. Yeah, too long.
Well, yeah, I don't want to talk about it too much because it's just open.
Yeah,
And there's a
you
lot
want to
of
spoil
people.
anything.
I don't
See
want
it.
to. I don't
We
want
don't
to
wanna-
be
yeah.
accused of revealing spoiler stuff. But on the whole, I found it entertaining, and lavishly and expertly executed. Great action scenes, great stunts, and it shows off Daniel Craig really well.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to make this a more dimensional, emotional James Bond,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they succeeded.
There you go. No, Victoria, we don't bring the pole out just for you. It lives there.
Oh, no. That's where it
Everything
is.
that you see lives where it lives. Our house is full of stuff.
When we moved in here 7 years ago, there were certain things you just knew were very easy to place.
Yes,
That being one of them.
that lives there. That's
Yeah.
where that lives. No, sometimes we'll move stuff around behind us just to
The
bring
smaller
out other
tchotchkes,
stuff.
yeah.
But no, the big things like that, it's not easy to move. As I say, it lives where it lives. Hi, Leonard. I think you wrote my dad, cartoonist Vernon Green, a letter back in 1964. Do you remember?
If it is, I think Vernon Green inherited the comic strip called Bringing Up Father, which stars Jiggs and Maggie, comic strip characters who from the teens, I think, or early 1920s. And if that's the person I'm thinking of, and I think it is, he was kind enough to send me an original daily strip.
She says you're right. There you go. Isn't that fun?
And they did a lot of merchandising
Memories.
for Jiggs and Maggie. Yeah.
Jim says, so with Halloween coming up, I was wondering which 60s horror movie icons you met and or interviewed. Guessing you met the pride of St. Louis, Vincent Price.
Right.
How about Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee?
Not so lucky.
No, because they were in England. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but they did.
They did do stuff here. Well,
Christopher
yeah.
Lee did more
Christopher
stuff
Lee
here,
did.
Yeah.
In fact, I think he ended up living here, didn't he? For a
Yeah,
long time?
I think
Yeah.
so. But I did get to meet Vincent Price on a couple of occasions, and just the kindest,
Oh, urbane,
yeah, gentleman. Gentleman is the word that applies to him.
serious art collector.
And
yeah.
and at the time, I was working on my book about radio, and I had just started listening to his short-lived radio series as The Saint, and the same role Roger Moore played later on. He said the biggest challenge for him was it was always somebody always knocked him unconscious. Every episode, they had to learn how to do different ways. Oh, And he did that for me.
That's
So
so
that's
funny.
that's a pleasant memory.
Matt says, through the years with your movie guide, I found we have very similar taste. I have 2 questions. Any film you wish you could see again as if new because the hype or word of mouth affected your feelings? So let's start with that one.
Ooh. Go on.
Okay. The second one is I'm a big admirer of Secret Ceremony, 1968. Have you experienced a recent DVD/Blu-ray with intriguing commentary? Yes, yesterday is the answer to that.
Secret Ceremony?
No. He's saying, have you watched any good, or I guess listened to or whatever commentary on a DVD Blu-ray?
Oh yes. Well, I want to plug 2 new releases, brand new releases. I may have received them before their official release date from the Criterion Collection. I spent a lot of time yesterday watching all the bonus features, or almost all the bonus features, on The Incredible Shrinking Man. This is
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.
it's the ultimate release.
It's a masterclass, really.
My mom and I inadvertently ended up watching.
Well, I do. I love that stuff.
No, we did.
Yeah.
We were all upstairs. All of us, the dogs, all of us. We were upstairs in my parents' room, and my dad said, "Is it okay if I put this on?" Because my mom and I were just talking, and we said, "Yeah, that's fine." So he did, and he starts watching it, and then we just all, because it was so interesting, we all ended up watching it for a while.
There's so much material on this disc, in addition to the film itself. There's an interview with Jack Arnold, the director.
That was fascinating.
That was shot in 1983 by a German TV crew.
Wouldn't you know?
Always Europeans always come over here
comes
doing
and
this.
does this. Yeah.
There's Ben Burt and Craig Barron, the great sound man and visual effects artist, who do a lot of presentations together.
Yeah.
Explain how they did.
We had Ben on our podcast as well, Ben Burt.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend that episode so much because he is such a cool guy.
Yep.
So many great stories to share.
Special section on the music.
But also, I mean, I love Dana Gould. And,
Dana Gould and Joe Dante discussing
really
their affection for this film.
Of course, and
their memories
both
of this
guys
film.
are film buff, devoted film nerds.
Yes,
and
that's a really enjoyable segment, and much more. So that's one gets my highest recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
I've just started looking at their new DVD of High Sierra, Raoul Walsh's film with Humphrey Bogart, Ida Lupino, and Joan Leslie. And that's got a lot of good stuff too. In fact, I'm in 2 of the little documentaries that they licensed. One of them's from 2003. It's like, is that what I look like?
Who is that handsome man?
Who is that guy?
Samuel says, I was thinking I should get that Shrinking Man DVD. I'm definitely getting it now. It really was fascinating, I have to say.
It's worth it. It's worth it, yeah.
It's the kind of, because now it's sort of become competitive, obviously. When you release a DVD, they have to put as much as they can on it. And sometimes that means you end up with stuff that is just not very interesting.
Yeah. But the minutia on this one.
But
they also interview Richard Matheson Jr. I hope it's the son of Richard Matheson.
Yes,
I think
it
his
is.
name is Richard also. Who talks about his father's work. It was originally a novel, and then, rare for Hollywood, they hired the novelist to adapt the screenplay. And
it's worth it. That's all I can say. It's worth it.
As the beginning of that question, asking about, is there something you wish you could sort of see new? Again, we're very, very lucky because we see stuff early for the most part. So usually that means that we haven't heard a ton.
And Leonard doesn't want to know anything.
He
doesn't. I mean, if we're in a theater, and
we try not to read reviews ahead of time.
Yeah,
or anything.
I mean, he's like this in a theater.
Yeah,
he doesn't want to know.
That's during the movie.
That's during the movie. Actually, it's pretty dull. Actually,
Vincent says, "Can't wait for the Citizen Kane 4K Criterion Collection." Yeah.
Yes, really curious to see what that looks and sounds like.
Yeah.
Really
Again,
curious.
sometimes 4K can hurt. Reason being, depending on how something was shot, sometimes making it that crystal clear is not great. Sometimes it means you see things that you weren't really supposed to see, but we'll see. Did you see any of the online version of the Pordenone Silent Film Festival?
Yes, I did.
Really?
Yes, I did, and I'm glad I was able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I should have been eating gelato
Yeah, that's the
to
thing.
get the full effect.
Yeah.
But I watched the Chinese silent film with Ruan Lingyu.
Yep. Come here.
They different one than they showed when we were there. And I watched a film with Sesu Hayakawa, an American film with Sesu Hayakawa. Or was it a Japanese film? My brain's getting fuzzy on that. But I watched at least 3 feature films, all rarities that I was very, very happy to get to see. A consolation prize for not being able to go there.
Yeah. We'd love to go back sometime.
You will. It'll happen.
I hope so.
It'll happen. Hi. 1 second. Is there a great forgotten movie that you wish the world would discover?
Oh, I deal in that.
Yeah.
I traffic in.
That's our wheelhouse.
Yes.
I traffic in
There's
such
a lot of films that need
so many films.
discovery. Even the Audie Murphy film.
Oh yeah, Jack Arnold directed a really good film called No Name on the Bullet. I wish I remembered who wrote it. Starring Audie Murphy and Charles Drake, and a good supporting cast. It's probably Audie Murphy's best film, and a very intriguing premise for the film, which I won't reveal.
What's interesting is that you can be watching a film, you don't even always say, I think I'll take a look. And then you realize you're watching something really good. And there's a difference between, okay, that's nice, that's good. And then you go, wow, this is good.
Yeah.
And it's very exciting when that happens. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think for anyone, there's a great joy in watching a movie and realizing it's just excellent, which is nice. Amy is saying, hello, Maltins. Hi, Amy. Hope you're well. Friday, I watched The Muppets Haunted Mansion and loved it. Thought it was well done and had fun nods to the original Muppets. The mansion details were on point too. Felt very old school to me. Have you seen it? I haven't, but a ton of my friends have and are very, very, very into it and loving it.
Oh, that's good.
I have not yet. My TV just broke. My TV done broke.
It up and
broke.
Yeah.
So right now I'm without television, but I will fix. Let's see. As a young child, my favorite movies were Dumbo, Some Like It Hot, and anything with Fred Astaire. What were your favorite films at that age?
What age was that?
Kid.
I probably would have joined you in all those.
Oh no,
all
Dumbo's
those choices.
Too sad.
I just love Dumbo. I just love
I
Dumbo.
love it, but
it makes me cry every single time. The baby mine sequence just it never grows old for me. It never grows old, and the emotion never ceases to come through.
I told you I couldn't get over how dark it was.
Mm-hmm.
One of my best friends, she shows her little boy Disney movies whenever they're sort of just sitting like after school and things like that. And I was visiting them when I was in England, and they put on Dumbo, which is one of his favorites. It's so dark.
Yeah.
Fortunately, when you're a kid,
I was not prepared. I was not prepared for how dark and upsetting it was.
Think about Pinocchio.
Oh, please. No, a lot of them, they're really.
It's like,
what
was
there's
the
a
Disney
reason.
company
There's
doing?
a reason they resonate.
Yeah.
There's a reason that you remember them on an emotional level.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not just a story that you can digest and then be done with.
Yeah. Similar question to the other. Hey Maltins, hope y'all are well. I've recently revisited Love in the Time of Cholera, a film I know Leonard liked, but it wasn't as favorable critically at the time. Are there any other films y'all think were unfairly maligned or deserve a second chance from a wider audience? Again, this is what, our film festival, the whole point of it are the hidden gems of stuff that people missed. My dad wrote the book, 151 Best Movies You've Never Seen. This is what we enjoy. There's a lot.
I seem to be the only person who liked that movie.
Yes.
And I actually stopped crowing about that because it got embarrassing
Yeah.
after a certain point.
Lonely.
And I hadn't read the novel,
Mm-hmm.
the very much admired novel. And I felt, well, until I'm on firmer ground, I better just lay low. I've gone on record, liking it, recommending it, and that's as far as I can go.
Yeah.
And every year there are films like that get away. Last year we saw a good film that opened in theaters when there were no theaters to open.
Yeah.
And it was called
Which one, honey?
Let Him Go.
Let Him Go.
Let Him Go.
Which ended
Kevin
up
Costner and Diane Lane. And
it's very good. Yeah.
it's a really good
It
film.
was the pandemic. Things
Yeah.
just got lost. I'm going to be really interested personally to see what's produced during the pandemic, which then films were done, and then after the aftermath of people's response to the pandemic. Yeah.
Well, I think that what we have gathered thus far is that nobody wants to watch pandemic movies.
No, not really. No.
Every
We're
time
living it,
someone
by
has
the way.
come out with a pandemic movie, it's not done terribly well. Reason being, we're in it. Perhaps some years from now, we will look back and think, this is interesting. Or for many of us, we will say, no thanks.
Oh,
This
has nothing to do with the pandemic. It just
Yeah.
had the misfortune.
Oh, no. I know.
Timing.
I'm
Yeah.
saying
Timing,
there are a
yeah.
number
No,
of
I
films
understand.
that are pandemic based that
Mhm.
sort of it's like, no, I'm good. But no, same thing happened with one of your favorite movies that came out last year, News of the World. Now
News of the World.
it came out December of 2019. 2020.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just before the world
that.
stopped. Yeah.
And no, not before, at the end.
No, 2020? Oh,
Yeah.
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 I know. No, Mama. 2020 was the year that didn't exist.
That's right.
And it came out at the end. It came out in December.
Uh-huh.
And
yeah.
then and unfortunately it just didn't get a lot of people just didn't see it.
And it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And in part because they were having trouble, the studios were having trouble figuring out how they wanted to
Should
release
they hold
movies.
it? Nobody understood how long we were gonna,
Should we stream them? Should we show
Be
them in theaters?
isolated,
Should we
yeah.
make it only
And-
theaters? Do we do
and-
theaters and then streaming?
And very few did what the James Bond folks did. Sat on it.
Mm,
They kept postponing its release date.
Yep.
They did not want to.
Well, remember that's what John Krasinski did with Quiet Place
Yeah.
2.
That's right.
He held it. They actually, what's interesting with that is that Quiet Place 2 started screening, I guess, again, it's hard because of all the things, but I guess like 2019, it started screening early.
Mm-hmm.
And then was supposed to come out, and then all of the things that happened with the pandemic, he kept holding it because he really felt like this was a movie you should see in a theater, and he's not wrong. But yeah, it's all a bit of a mess.
And our friend Carrie Beecham wrote a good article about Barbara Broccoli and Michael Wilson, who controlled the James Bond franchise. I don't like that word.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to compromise.
Yeah.
They didn't want to only release it for home viewing. They didn't want to dilute its potential as a box office movie.
Yep.
And they waited until they could do it the right way or the traditional way.
And again, I don't think that there's a right or a wrong.
No.
And especially because, again, we're all learning as we're living through it. Nobody has a crystal ball. So as I say, when the different studios are trying to figure out, do we just put it out as streaming? Do people even think about it theatrically? Like, do people, when they were looking at awards season, they're going, well, but if it's streaming, do people even think about it as being a movie?
Yeah.
I'm very confused myself.
Hey, about 45 minutes ago, somebody asked me about The Quiet Man.
That is true.
And I never answered.
Yes.
What do you want to know about The Quiet Man? What
Well,
was the question?
The Quiet Man, just what I thought of it, I think.
Oh, well.
And if I'm wrong, resubmit your question, please. But Quiet Man is a wonderful movie, and we feel very close to it because my then partner and I got an assignment from Republic Pictures Home Video, RIP, to has now been absorbed into Paramount Home Entertainment. But they hired me to do a half-hour documentary on the making of The Quiet Man, and
We had fun.
we had a great
Yeah.
time. One Sunday morning,
I
we
produced
look
it.
out our front window, dining room faced the street, and up the path was coming this very cheerful looking, very tall fellow who turned out to be Andrew McLaglen. His father, of course, co-stars in The Quiet Man, won his Oscar for John Ford's The Informer in the 1930s, and Andrew followed his father into the movie business behind the camera.
And then ended up doing a lot of television.
Yeah. And
Lovely.
and he had vivid memories of being in Ireland, in the village of Cong,
Mm.
and
And Patrick was there, and so was Michael.
no,
Wayne.
all four of John
Yeah.
Wayne's kids.
Yeah.
They shot it during the summertime, so they were out of school, and that was a deliberate choice. And so, and every time they reissue it on Blu-ray now, they've done a new,
Really?
at least one or two new documentary short features, but they still use mine, or ours, I should say, definitely ours.
Yeah.
And so that's a nice feeling.
We have a shillelagh given to us
We do.
by Michael Wayne, who
That he-
sadly is
that he acquired
Yeah.
in Ireland at that time
right.
during that shoot.
And Michael is gone, but he was the keeper of the flame of the whole Wayne dynasty. But one time he said, here's the shillelagh. It's like, okay,
Hey, here's a
Hey.
shillelagh. Things you hear all the time.
that's it.
Yeah.
How many
You
people
know?
come up and give you a shillelagh? Exactly.
Yes. No, it's again, it's when you still
Just
have
into a
people who
smaller.
experience things firsthand. That's again the greatest possible way to learn about this stuff. And it's why we find their information so valuable.
And I have a chapter about that in my new book,
In his new book.
which officially comes out Tuesday,
Yeah.
2 days from now.
You
Yep.
have the book here? No?
No, we've shown you the book.
Okay.
You'll
well,
see it again. We'll
It's
show it to
called
you.
Starstruck,
Yeah.
My Unlikely Road to Hollywood. And it is available in hardcover and paperback.
Yep.
And soon to be released on audio, God willing.
If you ever
Mhm.
finish it, yeah.
And I have a chapter about sort of getting to know the extended John Wayne family.
Yeah.
People like Andy McLaglen, who was, the connections and the threads
Or
are
Patrick.
really, really interesting. Really, really interesting.
Patrick Wayne lived up the block from us, and he also ran the voting,
The local polling
the local
place.
polling place. And Jesse said I only voted so I could see my, Patrick,
And
which is untrue.
was I wrong?
No,
No.
you
No.
weren't.
No.
Not a patriot, just wanted to see the win. Just wanted to see him. And you know
Oh,
what?
hi,
In
Patrick.
fairness, that is a
He was
handsome and
Gorgeous,
charismatic
He's still
man.
gorgeous.
I get it. That is a
Yeah,
handsome,
absolutely.
charismatic gentleman. And he was always there helping.
Oh,
run
I
the
know,
polling place.
serving hors d'oeuvres.
Yep.
This is Hollywood. We come from New York City, from a gymnasium for voting, and then we're going into a private house.
Into someone's house.
Someone's house, this serving wine, hors d'oeuvres. I went, where am I?
Coup d'etat.
I should say we were in a smaller neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if this would have happened if we were smack in Hollywood or something like that. The area I grew up in, Toluca Lake, which is not far from where we are now, was very neighborhood, very small.
It's small.
So you
and-
could do that. You can have a nice, elegant, friendly situation set up.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
Daddy walked in one time and they said, "Oh, you just missed Bob Hope."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 3 doors down or
Down.
whatever it is. Yeah. He was right by the house that everybody
Yeah.
voted at.
Yeah.
But man, oh man. I know a number of you folks have been asking about Halloween type movies. The truth is, my dad, we've told you my dad is not a scary movie person.
No.
So,
And that's all they're doing now.
and that's all they're doing.
Yeah.
So the closest I could say would be, obviously you love your Universal monsters.
Well, I love the Gothic horror films of the 30s and into the 40s.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not scary per se,
Mm-hmm.
but they uphold a tradition
Yeah.
of Gothic horror, and I like ghost stories, eerie stuff rather than scary stuff.
The
Creepy.
Haunting, which
Creepy.
Or the more recent one, The Others with Nicole Kidman.
yeah,
Hate them.
Really?
Not a fan.
Oh,
Not a fan of that
well.
one.
Oh well.
But
And gosh, I hadn't thought about this in relation to COVID, but 28 days.
well,
and
yes.
28 days later. I mean,
Yeah.
those,
Yeah.
now there's a scary,
Those are some scary movies.
scary topics.
But yeah, again, we don't tend to watch. This always comes up around any kind of a holiday where they'll say, "What Christmas movies do you watch? What's this? What that?" We don't really watch anything for any holiday.
Okay,
talk about Venom. Talk about Venom.
Shaun of the Dead.
Well, great film.
Yes,
Great film.
Edgar Wright's Shaun of the Dead.
I love Shaun of the Dead. I love Hot Fuzz.
And I'm not in love with Hot Fuzz, but
Oh, it's so good.
Shaun.
So good.
I have to watch it again.
It's so
Shaun of the Dead is a perfect blend
Yep.
of horror and
Yep.
comedy, and almost in the same league as Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
It's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
It's pretty damn good movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that we sort of go for either cheeky horror,
right.
like funny horror, which is
We
why
don't want anybody to get hurt.
yeah, which is
okay?
why we love Tucker and Dale versus Evil. We
Mm.
always bring that up. But no, tend not to. It's first of all no blood and guts for him. He does not do blood and guts. But yeah, as I say, we just don't watch movies for holidays. In large part because there's always new movies coming out. The only other times that you'll watch stuff is sort of because you guys kind of permanently have TCM on,
Yeah.
you know, then you're going to see a lot of Jimmy Stewart, you know, certain times a year, things like that. But yeah, we don't really, as I say, I wish.
When you hit a certain age, it's written you have to watch TCM.
Obviously.
It's
Obviously.
actually in the contract.
Yeah. Amy says, so looking forward to reading your book. Glad I pre-ordered. May have to get the audio version too, as you're such a gifted storyteller. That's so nice.
Well, that's a very sweet thing to say. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that.
And he's working. I will tell you before we say goodbye that doing the audio, this is his very first time ever doing anything like this with an audiobook. And we're doing it from home because it's the pandemic. So it has been a big learning curve. And
I never anticipated how difficult it would be to do this. I'm
Yeah.
not saying this for, to have you play Hearts and Flowers.
woe is Leonard.
Yeah. Just a career note.
Yeah.
He's not an actor, you know.
I've done voiceovers now for decades, but most of those voiceovers, like in the days
Are
of
30
Entertainment
seconds
Tonight,
to a minute.
Yeah. It'd be 10 seconds, 25 seconds, 30 seconds. Reading a continuous book is quite another matter.
Mm.
It's the difference between a sprint and a marathon. And I'm not a trained actor. I don't have breath control. I've never learned to use my
No.
diaphragm properly. And it's all coming home to roost.
At the end of the recording, we should put in just some of the clips I have of him cursing. Like, we should just have the end of him going, "God, freaking the sound that has been echoing through our house is that the nice editor that we are working with,
Clapping.
yeah. So when if he's gonna keep going, but just wants to take again, you clap so they hear that this is a take. And so my mom and I just all of it.
And he asked some actor friends for advice, and he got very good advice. Stephen Weber,
Crisp
does many of
apples
them.
are-
Crisp apples are very useful,
Very
but
useful.
man, Leonard doesn't curse. Yes, Ken. It's rare. It's rare, but it happens, and it's hilarious. So yes, very tempting. There's sorry, my mom was recording with him and trying to help, and so I'm the one going through the initial edits to then pass on to the real editor. And there's one recording that's just them arguing over how he's saying something. And I was like, I'm just gonna put this at the end. I'm gonna tell Eric, the nice guy, and
the
say, just
outtakes.
add this at the end of just
The
my mother going,
outtakes,
but you
yeah.
have to go slower. I am going slower. No, you're saying it wrong.
Yeah, we
The
have
reality.
to finish this before the baby comes.
Yeah,
Anyway.
exactly. We only have this much time left. Anyway, as always, friends, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. I hope the opening was as ridiculous for you as it was for us.
We didn't
Notice
that.
that the dogs had been.
They're
Very
both
calm
passed out now.
Now
They're
they're
tired.
sleeping. Yeah.
And yes, hopefully Alice will join us again on time.
Some
On
people-
time, Mrs. Maltin. On time, Mrs.
The bus
Maltin.
is late, I can.
So-
I keep saying that. There's
What,
no
was there
bus.
traffic from upstairs
Yes,
to here?
traffic to down.
Terrible
yes,
traffic.
Yes.
So we will see you next week. Everybody, please take good care of yourselves. Be safe.
Stay safe.
Uh,
Stay careful. Stay healthy.
all of those things. And we'll see you next week.
Take care, everybody.
Bye bye.